welcome here to $1 Insights Uncut. And we are here with the amazing and the so knowledgeable Shan Saeed. A very good day. How are you?
I am good. Good morning to you, Taco. How are you?
Very good. And we're so excited to have this first session here and hopefully another 1,000 sessions coming of $1 Insights. Highly requested by all of our friends, audiences, followers, just to learn a little bit more about economics, about property, what is happening all over the world. And that is why we have both of us, Shan Saeed and myself, Taco Heidinga, coming to you. And we're so happy that you're following us on this great episode. Welcome. Let's dive right into it, Shan, because I think we had exciting times. Trump is again 47th president, upcoming president, of course. Yes. What does that mean for the world? What are your insights?
Thank you, Taco. That's a very important question. I think what the world is actually expecting, after the post-election, the president-elect Trump would be focusing more on trade. We can expect tariffs. We can expect more protectionism. Like yesterday, I was on a global TV channel in Dubai, Bloomberg, and I was talking about protectionism is not going to help free trade and commerce. What we need, open policies. When I mean about open policies, I talk about free markets. I believe in free markets. I follow Milton Friedman, one of the greatest Nobel laureates from Chicago. So I think there will be more trade and commerce. Number one. Number two, tariffs will come back into the equation. Immigration laws in US, they will have a whole new landscape. And above all, I think it will be about America first. So what happened from 2017 to 2020, which three regions were booming? Were ASEAN, GCC, and Africa. So we can expect the same regions booming again. This is what I posted and this is what I shared when I was taking this interview yesterday at Bloomberg. So it's all about trade and commerce.
Super interesting. And one of the things that just immediately reminded me back, now that Trump is our new world friend again, I guess, is this term Trumponomics, right?
Oh, lovely.
And I think it was in the Economist, right? I just give you a quick view on that. Trumponomics. Shan, just give us a little explanation. What does that actually mean?
Trumponomics, Taco, yes. I still remember 2017. This terminology came. I was invited by World Bank and IMF to attend the meeting. That was 12th October 2017. And after that, I was invited by SIDC, the training arm of Securities Commission, on 25th October. And I was exactly talking about Trumponomics. So what is Trumponomics? It's all about lower taxes. It's all about lower interest rates. And it's all about America-focused policies. So the economic policies are all driven by keeping US in focus, keeping American workers in focus with lower taxes, lower interest rates, so that this generates momentum in the economy. So if you look at GDP equation, it talks about four components. You have consumption, investment, government, and net of export. So if consumption and investment are on the roll, they are on the go, then you can expect the GDP growth to be on the upsurge. But if investment and consumptions are being not driven by consumer confidence, like what is happening in Europe right now, the consumption patterns are weak. Investment is not going into Europe, and now ECB, the European Central Bank, by 2025, it is expected they will cut interest rate. So once you cut interest rate, you encourage consumption. Once you encourage consumption, it goes into the economy. It goes into the economy, it creates momentum. It creates momentum. That's how the GDP equation comes into the equation. So I think lower taxes, lower interest rates, and trade would be the main theme of this Trumponomics.
It's very interesting. So actually for global economics, so to push consumerism forward, I think it's in our advantage that Trump has his next term again. Do you also see any big challenges coming up as he becomes president?
What I foresee, Taco, the geopolitical risk will come down because Trump is an entrepreneur. He is not a normal politician. So he believes in promoting trade. He believes in doing business. So he would encourage, or he would bring all the parties together, and he would cut down all these I would call it the free money to some countries. So the war in Ukraine and Russia, we can expect to be over next year. After he comes into power after post 20th January.
Yes.
And I think the war in Israel, in Gaza,
Yes.
that I think is getting escalated for some reason. I think these two major unrest and geopolitical risk, they should be stopped once Trump is back. So I expect the geopolitical risk to come down, and the interest rates will come down significantly in US.
Interesting. And linking that a little bit also to, let's say, we are here in Asia. You were just talking about GCC, Africa. Do you see that these will get a boost because of everything that is changing? Not only because of Trump, but also the changing effects in Europe. Like you say, you expect a cut in the interest rates in Europe as well. How does that affect for next year and maybe the following years for Asia, GCC and Africa as you predicted?
If you look at history, economic history, Asia has also always benefited whenever there is policy change in US and Europe. Right now, if you see, the pivot has moved from west to east. Everybody is coming to Asia. I still remember when I met Jim Rogers when I was studying at University of Chicago. He said, 19th century, everybody was going to London. 20th century, everybody was heading to New York. In the 21st century, everybody is heading to Asia.
Yes.
Look at Asia, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Vietnam. All these countries are booming. Thailand.
Yes.
Why? Because of one reason, macroeconomic stability, mature leadership. So when you have mature leadership, when you have macroeconomic stability, when you have strong consumption patterns, and most importantly, when you have young population, what they do? They consume a lot. People like to go to restaurants, they want to buy gadgets, they want to buy house, they want to buy cars, they want to go for long vacation. So this is where the momentum is.
Yes.
Asia is the century for the next 15 to 20 years.
Yes.
So if you're not in Asia, you're in the wrong continent. So I think right now, everybody, if you see in the last 1 year, if you have observed, most of the global meetings are happening in ASEAN.
Yes.
People are going to GCC. GCC sovereign wealth funds are holding $3.9 trillion. That's massive. Sovereign wealth funds, I wrote, I think 7 or 8 years ago in the local magazine, Money Compass, sovereign wealth funds will be driving the markets, and this is exactly what is happening. And if you see the latest issue of Economist magazine, I'm glad you brought it up. Private markets, sovereign wealth funds are going into private markets.
Yes.
That's where the momentum is. So I think ASEAN, GCC, and Africa will be the growth region for the next 15 to 20 years.
Fantastic. And since we're IQI here, of course, are a property company, right? And we have property in over 30 countries with over 50,000 agents.
Yes.
Let's touch a little bit on the property side, right? Because interest rates are coming down.
Yes.
The US made their last cut beginning of this month, if I'm not mistaken.
Next month, yes, December.
And then Europe is going to cut again.
Yes.
Asia already has very stable interest rates at the moment.
Yeah.
Where do you see the opportunities when it comes to the properties around the world?
Where you have the momentum. Right now the momentum is in ASEAN, is in GCC. Dubai is booming.
Dubai.
Africa, I think yes. And there are opportunities in Australia,
yes.
Canada. We have office in Canada. Lily is doing a great job in Australia. And Yusuf is doing a great job in Canada.
Yes.
So I think this will where the opportunities are, where the momentum is strong.
Yes, very, very true. And to add on that, in Dubai, they predict for next year short-term rental rates to come up again, right? So the returns of investment in Dubai, I think they expected in the next 3 years another 180,000 units in Dubai, right? So Dubai stays this hot cake in the middle of the center of the earth, right? Whatever you can call the center of the earth, of course. But of course you said Asia, right? We're here in Malaysia. You see big peak in Malaysia right now because of the latest, let's say, signed agreements with these big companies. I think Nvidia, IBM, even Google made big investments, are going to make big investments. I think we're talking about $20 billion, right, of investments coming in. What does that mean for a country like Malaysia?
You see, when big companies, they move to any country, they send signal to the market. The signal is that we have confidence in this country.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, who drives the economy?
Yes.
People. What I have observed in the last 13 years, I moved from Chicago to KL almost in December, it will be 13 years. What I like about Malaysia is people are productive.
Yes.
Everybody speaks in English. You go to other countries, you have challenges in IQI, 98% of our staff, they are Malaysians. 80% are females. So females, the educated females that we have, they are driving the growth. This is why I believe, today is your mother's birthday, late mother's birthday.
Yes.
Mine was yesterday. So I think what I strongly believe, what I learned from my mother, female education has direct correlation with GDP growth.
Oh, nice.
Wherever females are educated, look at Vietnam, look at Malaysia, Indonesia. I know people in Indonesia, they're getting PhDs, masters. The economies are booming, they are on the upsurge. Why? The labor force is productive. Labor force is tech savvy. In Malaysia, 70% of the labor force is tech savvy. And 95% of the population, they have got smartphones.
Yes.
So I think this is where the momentum is. And I think the young population, the educated workforce, the hardworking, and you were asking about how to reduce inflation.
Yes.
One of the ways, you have two ways. Through monetary policy, you increase the rates to cut inflation, to bring the inflation down. The other way to bring down inflation is by increasing the productivity. Once you increase the productivity of labor, the cost of doing business, it comes down.
Yes.
So once the cost of doing business comes down, obviously the inflation comes down.
Yes.
So I think one of the ways to bring inflation down is by raising productivity,
yes,
by increasing the income levels of human resource. So I think, in my opinion, the human resource, the productive labor force, the young crowd, that is going to drive the ASEAN region for the next 15 to 20 years.
Fantastic, fantastic. And as we're going into closing, because we want to keep this short, we want to keep it snappy, everything, right? You also brought a book, right?
Yes.
That you would like to quickly touch on, Milton
Yes.
Friedman.
Yes.
Can you just highlight a little bit what this person has meant for you and your career?
Yes, everybody wants to know who do I follow. I follow Milton Friedman, one of the greatest Nobel laureates in US. He got his Nobel Prize in 1976. I was given this book by someone after I finished my MBA, not during my MBA. It was after I finished my MBA, somebody gifted me this book. And I have read this book 7 to 8 times. And I know each and every page, what did he say. And if you follow this book, because he has got huge influence on my personality. I believe in free markets. I don't believe in government intervention. I believe it is always the private sector that drives the growth of any economy. So if you want to know who do I follow Milton Friedman and his book Money, Mischief, the Episodes in Monetary History.
Well, fantastic. I think that went very well as a first episode. And again, just a quick one. Again, happy birthday to you.
Thank
and many
you.
happy years, of course, healthy years.
Thank you so
and
much.
thank you so much for being such a great influence on every one of us, teaching us about economics, but most importantly, just being an amazing, amazing, positive gentleman that you are. And I'm so happy to be working with you all together. Thank you very
Taco.
much.
Thank you for those kind words. I'm very lucky and I'm very fortunate that we have this culture in IQI where we are very open, we are very supportive of each other, and above all, it's we work hard and we play hard.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us on the first episode here at $1 Insights Uncut. And we hope to see you again in the next episodes together with Shan Saeed and with Taco Heidinga. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.